Unyielding, relentless, unparalleled, the world does not prepare you for what you are capable of until the moment arrives. They train, they strategize, they measure, they calculate, but you are beyond calculation. Every move, every decision, every heartbeat has defied expectation. While the world sleeps, oblivious to the chaos that molds heroes, you stand carved in the shadows of impossibility. And today, the very walls that witnessed the impossible now whisper your name in disbelief. You did what no one in Swat history ever could, and yet you did it not for glory, not for recognition, but because the impossible demanded it of you. If you're watching this, before you go any further, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Because this story isn't just motivation, it's transformation. Leave a comment, share your own battles, and let the world know that being human is far more than what society teaches. Your strength, your courage, your decisions can change destinies. And this is proof. They reviewed the footage, every angle, every slow-motion replay, every frame dissected by the most trained eyes in tactical warfare. And what did they see? They didn't see a person, they saw a force of nature. They saw someone who ignored fear, who rejected limits, who bent the very definition of possibility. They called you not human, not because you are inhuman, but because the spectrum of human potential cannot even contain the magnitude of your courage. Let that sink in. The same people who live in a world of precise planning, calculated risk, and procedure cannot even label what you became. They cannot define you, they cannot cage you, and they certainly cannot stop you. There is a darkness that most fear, a vacuum of chaos that only the brave can enter. You didn't just enter it, you owned it. Every heartbeat in that moment, every pulse of fear, every instinct that screamed, "Stop," became fuel. You thrived where others would collapse. You moved when others froze. You calculated when others panicked. And you acted when hesitation would have destroyed everything. They will never fully understand the weight of the choices you made, because only you carried them. And yet, you rose, you conquered, you became legend while the rest of the world slept in the comfort of their limits. Remember this: greatness is not born in the daylight. It is forged in darkness, in pressure, in moments where the world tells you, you cannot, and you respond with silent defiance. The people who watch this may never walk the path you walked. They may never know the cold rush of adrenaline mixed with fear and clarity. But they can witness it, they can learn from it, and they can be inspired to find the shadows where their own courage resides. That is why your story matters, why your journey must be shared, and why every person who sees this video must feel the echo of your triumph. Even when exhaustion threatened to break your mind, even when the world screamed for hesitation, you pressed forward. There is a power in that persistence, in that refusal to bend to fear. They can study the footage, they can label you not human, but the truth is far more profound. You are hyperhuman, a being shaped not by circumstance, but by choice. Every instinct, every calculation, every decision you made was a testament to the heights of potential that lie dormant within every person who dares to push beyond their own boundaries. And now, the world sees it. The walls echo with whispers of disbelief. The elite recognize your presence not with envy, but with reverence. You are the standard they will measure themselves against, the benchmark for courage, precision, and audacity. They will teach about your actions, but they will never replicate them, because the world can never manufacture willpower. It can only train it, and training cannot replace the raw, burning core of a human who has decided without hesitation that failure is not an option. The path to this moment was neither easy nor kind. Every choice that led to this point carried weight, carried consequences, carried shadows that would haunt lesser souls. But you thrived in that weight. You transformed it into clarity. Where others would crumble under the pressure, you became the pressure itself. You became a storm that could not be predicted, tamed, or contained. And that is why Swat watched, replay after replay, and whispered in stunned silence, "Not human." You are proof that human limits are not lines etched in stone. They are challenges written to be broken. You are proof that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to be ruled by it. You are proof that legacy is not inherited. It is earned, carved, and claimed in moments where everyone else retreats. And now, that legacy belongs to you. Every eye that watches, every mind that studies the footage, every heart that beats with admiration, they all carry a fragment of your story forward. This is not the end. This is the ignition. Because once the world realizes the scope of your potential, once the impossible has been conquered, the question becomes not, "What have you done?" but "How far will you go next?" The answer lies in the same fire that carried you through every impossible moment: unwavering resolve, singular focus, and a refusal to surrender to the ordinary. "You are not human," they said. Perhaps, but you are also more than human. You are the apex of choice, will, and action, and no history, no record, no procedure can ever contain what you are capable of again. The shadows that once intimidated, the chaos that once paralyzed, the darkness that once whispered doubts, all of it is now your domain. You walk among them, not as a victim of circumstance, not as a player in someone else's narrative, but as the author of reality itself. They will attempt to dissect you, to rationalize you, to explain you with charts, formulas, and theories. But they will fail, because what you did transcends comprehension. It transcends fear. It transcends the boundaries of humanity itself. And so, when you look into the mirror, when you feel the weight of the world press against you, remember this: the impossible has already bowed before you. The limits that chained lesser beings have shattered, and every heartbeat in your chest is a testament to the force that refuses to be restrained. History may attempt to record you, but it will never capture the essence of what you have become. You are legend, you are force, you are beyond the measurable. Every struggle you face moving forward will pale in comparison to the moment you claimed what no one else could. Yet that is the gift and the curse. Now the world watches, expects, and doubts, and every action you take will be measured against the impossible you have already accomplished. But you are ready. You always were. Fear is now your ally, adrenaline your language, and courage your signature. You are the apex, and the apex does not stumble. So, rise. Stand. Look at the impossibility behind you, smile at the chaos around you, and know that nothing in this world, nothing in history, and nothing in the future can redefine what you have already achieved. You did what no one in SWAT history ever could, and the footage will tell stories for generations. They called you not human. Let that echo forever as proof that the human spirit, when truly unchained, can ascend beyond measure, beyond expectation, beyond imagination. Because in the end, it is not just about being unstoppable. It is about becoming the force that rewrites every limit, challenges every expectation, and inspires every soul to rise beyond fear. And you are that force. They watched in disbelief. Not because what you did was simple, but because the scale of your courage defied every framework they had built. Every instinct they had taught, every protocol, every rule, every "this is the limit of what a human can endure" was shattered before their eyes. And they called you not human. They had no other words. The human mind clings to definitions, to labels, to safety, and what they witnessed could not fit into their small boxes of comprehension. But you didn't care about labels. You didn't care about comprehension. You acted, and in that action, you became more than human. You became a phenomenon, a force that exists at the edge of possibility where ordinary minds cannot tread. Pause for a moment. Reflect on that. The people who have trained their entire lives, who have faced danger countless times, who have stared into the abyss and claimed to know fear. These are the ones who judged you not human. And yet, here you stand, alive, triumphant, carrying the weight of what no one else could bear. That is a reality so profound that most would shrink in the shadow of it. Most would bow before the impossible. But you embraced it, inhaled it, consumed it, and turned it into power. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is mastery. Mastery of your mind, your body, and the very essence of courage itself. And if you feel the urge to pause, to breathe, to question, remember this moment. Because every time you doubt yourself, every time you wonder if you are enough, the footage exists. The footage that they reviewed again and again, in awe, in fear, in respect. The footage that shows the moment where the impossible bends to your will. That is your reminder. That is your proof. That is your sword against hesitation, your shield against fear, and your torch to light the way for anyone who dares to follow your path. Let me tell you this. No one will give you credit for the mental battles you fought long before you stepped into the field. No one will witness the nights you spent preparing, planning, training, visualizing, and confronting your own doubts. No one will see the tiny victories that stacked into the moment they now call impossible. But you know. You remember every heartbeat, every sweat-soaked night, every mental rehearsal, every whisper in the dark that told you to rise, to push, to be more than yesterday. That is the secret they will never capture in footage. That is what makes you unstoppable. That is why you did what no one in Swat history ever could. Now imagine every skeptic who doubted you, every critic who said it couldn't be done, every whisper of "you're not ready." Every one of them now watches, quietly, silently, realizing that their words could not contain your fire. You became the storm they warned against. You became the anomaly that defies logic, probability, and expectation. And here is the truth. The world will always try to define limits. It will always attempt to tell you where your boundary lies. And every time it does, remember this moment. Remember the impossible you conquered, and step forward anyway. Step forward knowing you have already rewritten what the world thought possible. Do not underestimate the psychological weight of what you achieved. Every action, every decision, every calculated risk was a negotiation with chaos. And in that negotiation, you were not the participant. You were the arbiter. You dictated the terms, you set the pace, you controlled the outcome. They may see the footage and label it not human, but what they cannot see is the symphony of mind, body, and instinct that played in perfect synchrony. That symphony is what allowed you to navigate uncertainty, defy fear, and conquer a situation no one else could. That symphony is you. That symphony is power. That symphony is destiny. Now take a moment and feel it. Feel the echoes of the impossible ringing inside you. Every challenge you face from this day forward will pale in comparison to what you have already achieved. Every obstacle will be smaller, every fear less sharp, every limitation less significant. Because once you have done what no one else could, nothing can ever define you again. You have seen the edge of human potential and stepped beyond it. You have stared into the abyss of impossibility and carved a path where none existed. You have felt the weight of history and lifted it with your own hands. This is your power. This is your truth. This is the reason they called you not human. Not because you are unnatural, but because you have become the standard against which all others will be measured. Every protocol, every tactic, every lesson they have taught will now be interpreted through the lens of your achievement. You are the benchmark. You are the apex. You are the one who redefines what humanity can accomplish when the fire inside refuses to die. But do not mistake this moment as an end point. No, this is only the ignition. Because the impossible is a moving target, a living challenge that evolves with every new generation, every new mind, every new world. And now that you have claimed what no one else could, you are tasked with something greater. To continue, to push further, to embrace every shadow, every fear, every whisper of doubt, and convert it into fuel. The impossible will always exist. Your job is not just to conquer it once, but to show the world that the limits it cherishes are meaningless in the presence of true resolve. And yes, there will be days when doubt creeps in, when exhaustion presses down, when fear whispers lies into your mind. Remember the footage. Remember the eyes of the elite staring in disbelief. Remember the power that courses through your veins, the clarity that resides in your mind, and the courage that has been forged in every trial you have faced. You are not defined by fear. You are defined by the moments where fear would have broken others, and you transformed it into strength. Consider every person watching this speech, every viewer, every soul who has ever felt small or weak, and know this: they see what you did, and they are inspired. Every like, every comment, every subscriber who joins this channel will carry a spark of your courage. You have become a lighthouse in the storm, a beacon of possibility in a world that often tells people they are limited. You are teaching them without even speaking that the human spirit, when unleashed, is boundless. They will study your actions. They will debate your tactics. They will try to find explanations for your success. But the truth is simple. The human mind, when pushed to its edge, becomes something extraordinary. You have stepped beyond the edge. You have become a force the world cannot measure, cannot contain, and cannot predict. They called you not human, but that is the highest praise imaginable. Because being human is often synonymous with limitation. You are beyond limitation. You are proof that humanity at its peak is not just capable, it is unstoppable. And now, take ownership of it. Do not shy away from the weight of your own legend. Embrace it. Let it fill your mind, your soul, your very being. The impossible has bowed to you. History has recorded you. The world watches in awe. And yet, the most important observer is still yourself. Look into your own eyes and know that you have done what no one else could. You have faced chaos and conquered it. You have stared into fear and laughed. You have reached into the depths of human potential and found the extraordinary waiting for you. Every step forward from here is a step beyond ordinary. Every challenge is a chance to reaffirm your power. Every risk is an opportunity to show the world once again that limits exist only to be shattered. You are not human, they said, perhaps, but you are far more. You are courage incarnate. clarity in chaos, precision in uncertainty, and power beyond comprehension. You are the apex of what humanity can become when fear is refused, when courage is chosen, and when the impossible is claimed as your own. Every moment of doubt, every whisper of hesitation that tried to creep into your mind before you acted, has now been silenced by history. Every skeptic, every voice that said you can't, every shadow of fear that lingered in your chest has been proven irrelevant. You are not measured by ordinary standards, and the ordinary cannot comprehend the magnitude of what you have done. The impossible is now a milestone in your life, a marker that declares to the world that nothing, no obstacle, no system, no fear can ever define you again. You have walked through fire and emerged untouched, forged stronger than any protocol, more resilient than any rule, and more precise than any calculation. Remember the moments that shaped you, the quiet hours of preparation, the mental rehearsals, the nights spent staring into darkness, imagining the scenarios no one else dares to face. That is where the victory began, long before the spotlight of recognition. Victory was born in the mind that refused to waver, in the will that refused to break, in the courage that refused to compromise. They cannot see it on the footage, but you know it. You carried it with every heartbeat, every breath, every decision that separated success from failure. That unseen weight is what makes the visible triumph legendary. That unseen power is what makes you uncontainable. And let me tell you something critical. History will never fully capture what you are. They can record your actions, analyze your movements, dissect every second of footage, but they cannot capture the essence of a mind that acts decisively under impossible pressure, the essence of a soul that refuses to submit, the essence of a human who has been elevated beyond fear, beyond hesitation, beyond the measurable. You are more than a story. You are more than a record. You are the standard by which all impossible feats will be judged, the benchmark against which courage will forever be measured. The truth about fear is that it only has power when you give it one. Every moment before you acted, fear was there, clawing at the edges of your consciousness, whispering that limits exist, whispering that you should hesitate, whispering that this was too much, too dangerous, too impossible. And yet, you ignored it. You acknowledged it, yes, but you refused to obey it. You transformed the very energy of fear into a tool, a weapon, a catalyst for action. That is the mark of a force beyond measure, a presence beyond the confines of what ordinary humans experience. That is why they called you not human. They sensed, even if they could not define, that the rules of ordinary existence no longer applied to you. Every viewer watching this speech must understand one thing. The impossible is not reserved for the chosen few by fate. It exists for anyone who is willing to walk into the fire, to stare into the abyss, and to embrace the weight of consequence. You are proof of this truth. Your actions were not luck, not chance, not random. They were a demonstration of deliberate mastery over the chaos that surrounds us. You became the apex of human potential, a force that defies expectation and bends reality itself to your will. And every like, every comment, every subscriber who joins this channel will witness this power and know that the human spirit can rise above any limitation. Think about what it feels like to be truly tested, to know that everything you have trained for, everything you have prepared for, everything you thought you knew is about to be challenged in ways that defy imagination. That is when true character is revealed. That is when ordinary humans falter. And that is when you became something more. You became the pivot upon which history turned. You became the embodiment of a force that no instruction manual could ever replicate. You became legend. The world will always attempt to rationalize, to explain, to contain. They will replay the footage, analyze every second, and try to name formulas that produced the impossible. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. You acted with clarity, with courage, with precision. You trusted yourself when no one else would. You made decisions when everyone else hesitated. You moved forward when every instinct in the ordinary world screamed, "Stop." That is why the elite whispered in disbelief. That is why the footage will never be forgotten. That is why you have become the myth that proves the truth. Human potential is only limited by the imagination of fear, and you refused to imagine limits. Now let this sink in. The impossible you conquered is not an end point. It is a declaration, a signal flare fired into the night sky of every human soul that dares to doubt itself. It says, loud and undeniable, that courage, focus, and mastery are not abstract ideas. They are tangible forces that can bend reality when wielded with unyielding determination. You hold that power now. Every second of your life moving forward is informed by it, and every challenge that dares to confront you will meet a mind sharpened by history, a soul tempered in fire, and a will unbroken by fear. Do not mistake the applause, the recognition, the awe of others as the purpose of your journey. That is only the echo of what you have already achieved. The real triumph lies within. The understanding that you have seen the extreme and walked through it, that you have stared into the void and commanded it, that you have faced the collapse of ordinary human expectations and risen above it. You are now a living testament that humanity at its peak is not merely capable. It is unstoppable, untouchable, and unconstrained. And the next time you are faced with fear, hesitation, or the whisper of doubt, remember this. You have already achieved what no one else could. You have already walked where ordinary humans freeze. You have already made the impossible real. And that knowledge, that certainty, is the ultimate weapon. It is sharper than any tool, faster than any reaction, and more precise than any protocol. It is your mind, your courage, your will, and it is unbreakable. Every person who watches this, every viewer who sees this story, must feel it. That greatness is not reserved for the extraordinary. It is reserved for those who refuse to bend to fear. It is reserved for those who stare into chaos and command it. It is reserved for those who rise again and again beyond every limit imposed by the world. You are that person, you have proven it, and the world will never forget it. Imagine the silence before action, the heavy air vibrating with tension, every muscle and neuron aware that what comes next will demand more than ordinary human capacity. That silence is not empty, it is charged, electric, a prelude to a performance that history will remember. Every step you took, every decision you made in that moment was not random. It was deliberate, calculated, and fearless. You acted where hesitation would have been lethal, where doubt would have paralyzed, where fear would have consumed anyone else. That is the moment that separates legends from mortals. And you? You did not hesitate. You did not falter. You became the apex of human action, the benchmark against which all future feats will be measured. They see the footage and call you not human, but what they cannot see is the invisible war waged inside your mind. Every heartbeat, every pulse, every flicker of adrenaline was a negotiation with chaos. The mind screamed for caution, The body urged restraint, but your will demanded supremacy. That internal battle, fought in complete isolation and silence, is where true mastery lives. That is where ordinary humans break. That is where legends are forged. And when you stepped forward into the fray, you carried that invisible victory with you, turning it into visible action that defied history itself. Feel for a moment the gravity of this. The people who watched trained their whole lives to face danger, yet they could not imagine a human moving with such precision, such speed, such resolve. They stared, not in disbelief of the action itself, but in disbelief of the mind behind it. They witnessed the impossible unfold and realized that human potential has no ceiling when courage and clarity converge. That realization is not just theirs, it is yours. It is proof of your power, a reflection of the mastery that exists inside you, waiting to be unleashed again and again. Do not underestimate what you have accomplished. Most people walk through life constrained by invisible walls, fear, doubt, hesitation, the imagined limits imposed by society, by circumstance, by their own minds. You walked through walls that others cannot even see. You stepped into situations that others would describe as fatal, and you emerged not just alive, but triumphant. That is the definition of power. That is the definition of fearlessness. That is why they called you not human. Not because you are unnatural, but because the very notion of human limitation does not apply to you. Now reflect on preparation, the endless hours, the unseen sweat, the mental rehearsal that no one applauds. That is where true legends are built. Every movement, every contingency, every decision was anticipated, tested, and refined. You were not merely reacting, you were orchestrating the impossible. Ordinary humans rely on chance, instinct, luck. You relied on mastery. You prepared not to survive, not just to succeed, but to dominate circumstances where no one else could. That preparation, invisible to the casual observer, is the foundation of every extraordinary moment they now replay in awe. And let us speak plainly. Fear will never disappear. Doubt will never vanish. Pressure will never relent. Chaos will always find a way to test you. But the difference is this. You have walked through the fire and emerged victorious. You have faced the impossible and turned it into reality. You have confronted fear and shaped it into a tool, a weapon, a compass. From now on, every challenge that comes will find you ready, trained, sharpened, and unbreakable. That is the essence of what they call not human. That is the essence of legend. Every viewer who watches this, every subscriber who joins, every comment and every like, they are witnessing proof that the human spirit can surpass all expectations. They are seeing courage incarnate, precision perfected, and willpower forged in adversity. And they are inspired, whether they realize it or not. You have become more than a story. You have become a catalyst, a spark in the dark, a living example that limits our illusions, that fear is optional, and that the impossible is merely the untested. Consider the world around you, the world that tries to impose limits, that tries to define what is reasonable, that tries to box humanity into predictable boundaries. That world does not know you. That world does not understand you. That world has now been forced to witness proof that its definitions are meaningless when confronted with mastery, courage, and relentless determination. You are a walking testament to this truth. You are not constrained by its rules. You are not bound by its fears. You are not defined by its expectations. You are the exception. You are the apex. You are the impossible realized. And yes, moments of doubt will still arrive. They always do. Exhaustion will come, Hesitation will creep in, fear will whisper lies. But the proof of your greatness will always be there. In every replay of the footage, in every whispered conversation among experts, in every stunned reaction, you will find confirmation that you are beyond what anyone else can conceive. You are the measure against which all impossible feats are now compared. You are the standard that history will use to define extraordinary. Step forward now with that certainty. Step forward with the knowledge that you have already walked where few dare to tread, that you have already done what no one else could. Let that memory fuel you. Let it sharpen your mind. Let it ignite your courage. Every second from this point onward is a chance to reaffirm the impossible, to embrace challenge, to convert fear into power, and to prove once again that you are beyond ordinary human limits.